Welcome all to the Amir Shakur Speaks morning show, and back at it again. And want to welcome everyone who is on the World Wide Web to the show. And if you have not done so, please like, follow, and subscribe. And you haven't done so, got an action-packed morning this morning, and just reporting from the heart of the city, like we always do, live from the ABS studio, Chicago. And it's morning on Wednesday, March 25th, powered by the Amir Shakur Speaks ASN News. So you want to check that out. Redefining what it means to lead in your community, to lead in your city, and just to lead. You know, we need some people to stand up and show cause and just be the strength, be the power. So again, no filters, no scripts, no anything, but just pure, raw, uncut truth. And definitely welcome my national audience. And you're rocking with the sharpest mind in the morning, Amir Shakur. Right? So let's get into it. So today we're looking at the headlines you might have missed while you were asleep. Let's go. All right. So 82nd Airborne, y'all. 82nd Airborne. So as part of the operation, the joint operation, I should say, with Iran with Israel and America, according to reports, part of the 82nd Airborne Division, which includes the ground forces, is set to deploy to the Middle East and has already done so. The 82nd Airborne is currently in the process of deploying as part of the ongoing conflict, as we said. And here's the current status. Major General Brigadier Tegmeyer, the division commander, and his headquarters staff have already received orders to deploy. Additionally, 1,000 to 3,000 paratroopers from the 1st Brigade Combat Team, the division's immediate response to what's expected to arrive in the region in the next coming days. Operational intent. While no final decision has been made to put boots on the ground directly inside Midland, Iran, the military planners are reportedly weighing options that include seizure of the Clark Island. It's a strategic oil export hub in the Persian Gulf, and reports are saying this is what is the deployment, the strategic outcome, and the effort is being made to overtake that island. Prior to the current conflict, from a historical standpoint, the 82nd Airborne was used for rapid response and missions worldwide, including Operation Desert Storm, and other operations in the Persian Gulf. We are still looking at the concerns around the world, around the globe, about this military deployment. In 2020, the 82nd Airborne deployed to Iraq following the attack on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. In August of 2021, they served as the primary force for the evacuation of Kabul, Afghanistan. And the current move is widely viewed as a signal of readiness. While there is pushback, and the administration is simultaneously exploring a potential 15-point ceasefire plan negotiated by Pakistan. Again, pushback. Let's talk about that. And opposition to this operation is fast and furious, as well as the escalation. This conflict is causing a lot of ripples in Washington, D.C. amongst the officials and folks in the international and national communities. One person, Maxine Waters, clearly said, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, we should say, recently voted in favor of a resolution that's HCON Resolution 38. And this resolution directs the president to remove U.S. armed forces from unauthorized hostilities in Iran, redirecting and reflecting her stance, and that the president must redirect, we should say, any potential war plans to Congress, which is, what the Constitution says. The 82nd Airborne and any other units not and not according to this resolution, but again, it's a reinforcement of already established congressional standards. You know, so the conflict in Iran is ongoing, and we're currently weighing in and looking at what it is, and in the news cycle, and it's really changing every day. So again, we're praying for our troops. Thank you for that comment, Ramona. Our troops, because it's a questionable mention, and the mission itself is just it's a question. And I for one, and I'm dumbfounded by the level of authority that this president has been given to wage an unauthorized war. So let's look at a news report from CNN about it, and I think that they summed it up pretty well. So bear with me, and our producers are gonna pull that up, and I think it's very important that we bring the conflict to the world stage and keep the communication going about it on a global level. So here we go.
An end to this war. President Trump continues to insist that Iran does want to make a deal. I want to listen to a little bit of what he has said.
They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal too. We're going to get together today by probably phone, because it's very hard to find a country. It's very hard for them to get out, I guess. But we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
All right, so the president commenting just yesterday there, but Iran continues to deny that any talks at all are happening, have happened. What is your reaction to this? Where do you think these negotiations stand?
It's very difficult to truly understand all the things that are happening behind the scenes. It's interesting that one side is saying, yes, we're talking, and another says we're not. I think in any situation, it's always what is happening that is not in the news that matters in this particular case. I am very hopeful that the president is, quite frankly, trying to be courageous to say we can take care of this and stop this to the benefit of, quite frankly, everyone, while still, of course, safeguarding the United States from any kind of nuclear challenge that they may have, which, of course, has been apparently eliminated by virtue of what the president has said.
And so, as we just heard from Robert Sherman there, it doesn't appear that the war itself is ramping down. There are reports now of at least 4 impact sites in Tel Aviv from Iranian missiles. Israel launched heavy strikes overnight in Lebanon. Israel has already said that it expects several more weeks of fighting. So from your perspective, General, is there any indication that this is going to be winding down anytime soon?
I have some mixed perceptions about that, because indeed the Pentagon is giving out conflicting information from what the president has said. I think the idea of perhaps alerting the 82nd Airborne Division could be, quite frankly, a very costly mistake. Long time ago, as a company commander in the 82nd, I was on the green ramp there at Fort Bragg, ready to go to protect U.S. interests when the Shah fell. And I, quite frankly, will tell you, we were glad we did not go, because a airborne unit is extremely light, does not have very many arms, quite frankly. And again, in contrast to what happened in Iraq, where we sent over 100,000 soldiers, airmen, Marines, and sailors, in this particular case, a small force will not make a difference, and in fact will make them a huge target and will result in escalation. So I hope that indeed cooler heads will prevail, and there will be a way to de-escalate this situation.
And so we know shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz is still virtually non-existent. How do you think that plays into what happens next? And do you think there's really a clear path to getting it reopened safely?
I see no indications where this has been on the negotiating table yet, because Iran is denying any kind of participation. It's important for all the viewers to understand that Iran absolutely has a total vote on whether or not that strait stays open or closed. Some people think, well, we can take out all the people or occupy the land around the strait. That will not work. That strait, Iran can hit ships from anywhere inside the country of Iran, anywhere. We have to understand that the missiles and the drones that are capable are far more sophisticated than any direct fire weapon that could be used in that area. So we must have a de-escalation, and then together with Iran to be able to reopen the straits. The president earlier had asked for other ships from other countries. That's not really feasible, not only because those ships can't get there quickly enough, but more importantly is they cannot protect themselves against drones in the same way the United States has the capability. So I think it's important to understand it will take weeks to reopen this, even if we assume some kind of a de-escalation and a ceasefire by all sides.
Thank you.
So going back to where we're at, and if you're just joining, we're basically talking about the confusion that's happening overseas with the Iranian war and the deployment. So according to established reports, the 82nd Airborne is currently being deployed to the Middle East, and the deployment status is roughly involving 1,000 to 3,000 paratroopers. So the question was asked, how are the troops to be deployed for that mission in Iran? Well, basically the paratroopers are being flown over on C-140s or maybe 150s, and these are, the troop level airlines that basically probably off of the East Coast fly, and they pretty much are combat ready to be dropped, and they parachute in, just like the pictures that you see, and that's why they're called paratroopers. So according to the combat team, the 1st Brigade Combat Team, which houses the 82nd Airborne, these airborne rangers are highly trained for a mission, but 1,000 to 3,000 and without sufficient backing and operational intent, for many of us who are prior service, who know the risk to the service members is really wide, and we're working on a dangerous military path. And I mean, I'm not sure who's giving the orders up in DC or who's part of this escalation, but I mean, for most who are judging this, including the general who just made a statement about it, and you just saw from News Nation, I think that the troops are in peril. They're at risk. 1,000 to 3,000 paratroopers, and that part of the world will not be able to, they won't be able to move the pendulum at all. And as a matter of fact, if they are deployed in a military fashion, such as paratroopers, many of them will most likely lose their lives. But we hope that wouldn't be the case, but the waves and the tides are against them. So I would say that the question of and I'll answer that question, but how many troops is that the Navy? No, the Airborne is actually the Army. The 82nd Airborne Division is the U.S. Army, and it's based off of the East Coast. I believe 82nd is in North Carolina. North Carolina. Don't quote me. I'm a prior service guy, and military people, if there's anybody listening, correct me. But to make a long story short, the reports have surfaced that the service members are being deployed, and with the deployment, there's also a questioning of the legality of the orders. I mean, there's a cluster of issues that the United States, the country, and international forces are dealing with. And let's keep in mind, there's no NATO support, there's no ally support for this. This is America going on by taking this on by itself and supporting Israel, which has limited capability and responsibility in this. And I don't know the extent, and no one knows the extent of the mission, the regulation, and even the final objective. So, military service members, the 1,000 to 3,000, according to estimated reports, they are in jeopardy. And there is also a risk I want to mention of the service member's duty to disobey, right? So the narrow and dangerous legal path is that, military law assumes that orders are lawful, and if a member refuses to obey an order, they do so at their own peril. And if a military judge later determines that the order is unlawful, the member faces a court-martial, confinement, or dishonorable discharge in any level, any means. It's a tough slope. So there is a military de-escalation path, which is currently being sponsored by India, Pakistan, and an envoy from the United States, including Jared Kushner, which, according to President Trump, and we'll look at that, he's saying that, it's ongoing and it's been successful, but the Iran officials have said they don't know anything about it, right? So just to keep in mind, this operation began on February 28th with nearly 900 joint Israeli and U.S. strikes within the first 12 hours, 900. So the first 12 hours was literally air bombing. It was an air fight. So now with this deployment, this unit with roughly, they're saying 2,200, 1,000, 2,200 is another report to 3,000. So let's say 1,000 to 3,000. They're expected to arrive there on Friday. Additional Marine, if you're asking about a Navy deployment, there's an additional Marine deployment expected to arrive. So now we're looking at about 5,000 forces. And that's from the USS Tripoli, which is expected to arrive on Friday, the 27th, as I said. So as of today, orders were issued for approximately 3,000 paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne to deploy as an immediate response force. Yes, dangerous territories. And I will say one thing, it just doesn't seem like this war is declining. To be honest with you, it seems like they're escalating. And the comment that you made, they don't know that land is a dangerous mission. There are military experts who do know what the land is, but they don't really know the level of danger. And again, military strategists have said this is a dangerous mission, and they are up against the grain. So these American paratroopers who are going to be pushed down in there. I mean, this war is entering a fourth week, right? So let's say this, with roughly 50,000 U.S. troops already positioned throughout the Middle East, 50,000 to support the ongoing operations. So I'm not optimistic at all about the chances of our soldiers over there, even if it's the small contingent of forces. So if you're just joining, the main conversation, the focal conversation is about the deployment of 3,000 paratroopers overnight to the 82nd Airborne to Iran. And, we haven't seen this level of response force to a conflict since, we went back to Afghanistan. But again, that was a tempered mission. Initially, it was a level of deployment, but now, within the later years, it was a tempered mission. So what's your comments? What's your concerns? What do you have to say? They can't court-martial the entire armed forces. I'm praying that your troops stand up and do the right thing. Well, yeah, they can't. Unfortunately, with the Secretary General of the Army, Hacksmith, who is a former Fox News contributor, I think that he's going to, if anyone does stand against and disobey orders, I think that they're going to have a heavy penalty to pay. And I think that the leadership in the military understands this particular administration is definitely pro its own agenda and not pro Constitution, not pro American value, not pro anything but its own agenda. And, it's causing an uproar. So with that in mind, I definitely want to go to another video. And this one is just in reference to the negotiations. And let's talk about the negotiations in the ceasefire landscape. But before I do that, let's just look a little bit about the ceasefire or lack thereof, and let's see what's being said about it, because I think that there's a lot of questions about that as well as everything else.
In a new statement, a spokesman for the armed forces said Iran would never compromise with the United States.
Do not call your defeat an agreement. The era of your promises is over. Today, the world has two fronts, truth and falsehood. And every freedom-seeking person will not be deceived by the waves of your media. Has the level of your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? There will be no sign of your investments in the region, nor will you see the previous prices of energy and oil until you understand this. Stability in the region is guaranteed by the powerful hand of our armed forces. Stability comes through power.
Well, Tawhid Asadi joins us live now from the Iranian capital. Tawhid, so what more response have we heard then from Iranian officials about Trump's claims of talks to end the war?
Well, actually, except for the statement that we just heard from the spokesperson for the joint military headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya, publicly speaking, we don't have any reaction to that, except, and of course, it goes without saying that we just heard from the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, as well as the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ismail Baghai, both coming out to say that right now there is no negotiation taking place with the United States, but still we know that Iran is engaged in actually a trajectory of diplomatic engagement, not with the US, but with the regional countries and beyond. We know that Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has had different phone conversations with his counterparts from Egypt, from Pakistan, from Oman, and from different countries, and that is indicative of the continuation of a sort of diplomatic engagement. However, even when it comes to indirect messaging between Tehran and Washington, regardless of the reports about the 15-point proposal by the United States, we don't have any official confirmation in that regard, and we don't know whether something is going on behind the closed doors or not. But still, we have to keep an eye on the context in which these reports are coming out. First, there is this complexity element, juxtaposed to the previous time when the two countries were engaged in negotiation, once back in June last year, and the second one was actually taking place when all of a sudden, just very much similar to June, the country faced a campaign of airstrikes. Now we see a more complicated situation. And of course, a second element is this cloud of mistrust that surrounds the atmosphere when it comes to Iran-US deteriorated relations.
So, yes, I'm going to stop right there, and let's bring this to centerfold. So the situation is that is being discussed. The situation is currently defined as a 15-point proposal submitted by the Trump administration through intermediaries. And here's the breakdown of the status. The 15-point plan, this quote-unquote ceasefire, which no one knows what it is. The Iranian officials are saying that the Trump administration is speaking to itself. So it's supposed to be a 15-point plan delivered via Pakistani officials earlier today, and the U.S. proposal aims for a comprehensive end to Operation Epic Fury, right? And the key terms includes nuclear de-escalation, a rollback for Iran's nuclear program, the removal of all enriched uranium, the military operation is entrenched, to say itself, but enriched uranium for the country, and a permanent IAEA monitoring. They're saying that with that in mind, strict missile limits, strict caps on Iran's ballistic missile development and production. Iran hasn't agreed to any of this, folks. Also, in something that a lot of growing concern is the access to the Strait of Hormuz. So in that negotiation is the immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and that way the rising national and international petroleum prices will go back down. And there is a requirement with that in mind for Tehran to stop financing and arming regional groups like Hamas and some of the other groups. So again, the U.S. incentives in this exchange is, the U.S. incentives are it's small. There's really not a large offer, and the UN has monitored the civilian nuclear program for since the 90s. But at this point, with a functional ceasefire, we're not sure if the level of distrust will allow UN inspectors to go back and monitor Iran's nuclear facilities, The nuclear question has been a back and forth between the Obama administration going back even prior to his administration. I mean, it's been a level question. And that while there was a working monitoring relationship, again, the deep mutual distrust has eroded that. So Iran's response is saying that Iran military spokespeople have publicly mocked the plan, claiming that the U.S. is negotiating with itself. I want to play a little bit more of the video, and I don't know. I think no one really knows, has seen any of the Iranian officials talk to U.S., Pakistani, or any other of the other officials on the ground. Haven't been any meetings, so the information about this negotiation, excuse me, I'm choking, has been it's a myth. So who knows?
It goes without saying also that Iran says as long as the airstrikes continue, it's not relevant to talk about any diplomatic engagement.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tawhid, attacks have continued across Iran. Tell us what's been happening briefly.
Well, over the past 24 hours, I can say it's the continuation of the campaign of airstrikes that Americans and Israelis began. And here across the capital last night, we heard sounds of massive explosions. And of course, air defense activation is also reported not only in the capital, but also in other cities. But beyond the capital, we know that in different cities, such as Isfahan, we know that it has been reported that there are other after sounds of explosion being heard. And of course, added to that is Shiraz and area.
So if you're just joining me, what we're talking about the ongoing conflict in Iran. And the conflict has escalated by a military deployment of paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne who are on the ground, or we believe that they're on the ground as we speak. Can't know that for sure. But, even as the plan was being delivered and the conflict is escalating, Israel has confirmed that strikes are ongoing in the region, and the facilities in Tehran and submarines are being attacked. A submarine deployment in Isfahan. It's just, there's so many tentacles to this war, this escalation. I'm not going to even say war. And on top of that, there is a UN deadlock. The UN Security Council has passed Resolution 2817, which condemned the Iranian strikes on Gulf neighbors, but failed to include a broader ceasefire mandate, including criticism from Russia and China for being one-sided. So, what's next? Again, what we do know about day 26 of this, and what we do know is that right now we have a deployment of 3,000 additional U.S. paratroopers, either on the ground or shortly to be on the ground. We believe that they're there. And the possibility that these talks will fail is high. Iran seems relentless, and they won't back down from what they feel like is an unnecessary escalation. And not only do they feel that way, but there's a growing contingent of folks around the world and the country, including American citizens, who feel that way. What we do know in the past 25 to 26 days is that because of the Strait of Hormuz being locked, that the escalation has caused petroleum prices around the world to go up tremendously, and they'll continue to rise. In some places in America, even one region in California, one area I should say, was about $8 a gallon, and hopefully that's maintained itself and gone back down. But it's definitely a cluster, to say the least. What we also know is that in exchange, the U.S. has offered sanctions and relief in the UN-monitored civilian nuclear program, which is also up in the air. But Iranian officials say, they say that there hasn't been any such talk of any de-escalation, and the ceasefire landscape is questionable, to say the least. Is it a fact of propaganda? Is it a quote? Are these talks something that the Trump administration is making up? No one knows. The Trump administration itself and the officials on the ground will not come to Congress or the Senate and have not openly talked about their means, their methodology, and there has been little accountability. So while the heavy fighting continues, the United States has officially introduced a mythical framework for ceasefire. Mythical, to say the least. All right. So, unfortunately, that's where we're at. The ongoing conflict is going on. And, what's next is we just have to watch day by day, minute by minute, as things are changing and the development is changing. So at this point, by Friday, we're looking at 5 to possibly 10,000 U.S. forces in the area. So here's my thing. Would you help me keep track of the response from leadership? Feel free to email me if there's anything in the news we're watching on the ground. And Amir Shakur speaks at gmail.com if you have anything you want to say, if you have any questions. And there's been a lot going on. So that deployment, we're praying for the 82nd Airborne and the soldiers on the ground, and we wish the best, but we would hope for an immediate end to this escalation, and unnecessary, to say the least. So with that in mind, Amir Shakur Speaks morning show every morning. It's going to be from 8 to 9 a.m. and we're broadcasting around the world. We just got picked up. Here's the good news. The show got picked up with Al Jazeera, and we want to thank Al Jazeera, and independent media is where it's at, folks. So it's paying off. So listen, follow me, follow my evening show, Amir Shakur Speaks, the evening show, and we have a lot of great things going on. So if you want to reach us, you can go to the Amir Shakur Speaks broadcasting channel at Amir Shakur Speaks. And you can also go to the website, amirshakurspeaks.org. Oh, by the way, we have a new segment. A picture can tell 1,000 words. So if you got a picture of your loved one, just to kind of de-escalate and bring a level of entertainment and just lighten it up. So this is the picture can tell 1,000 words, and one of the team sent me this picture. This is our first time doing this segment. It'll happen every day. So a picture can tell 1,000 words, and thank you for sending this. He's so cute, and he actually broke the law of physics. But anyway, looped all the way around the growth spectrum and then came all the way to the other side. I mean, he's not just a fashion statement. I'm saying this guy right here is a vibe. You know what I'm saying? He is a vibe. So thank you for sending that picture. And if you got a picture of a loved one, if you got a picture, well, I'd caution sending pictures of loved ones, but we'll take pictures of the babies. Yes, we will. Your animals, if it's a beautiful scene like you being on the beach, hey, I'll have no problem. Send it to Amir Shakur Speaks at gmail.com. Let me put that up, and while you guys are enjoying the picture of this beauty right here. So again, that's a picture can tell 1,000 words, and yeah, this picture is telling 1,000 words to me. And thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful, to say the least. So if you want to send me your pictures every morning, Amir Shakur Speaks at gmail.com. Hey, thank you for my influencer team, my team of secret agents out there and on the chat room. You guys, thank you for being there, Miss Ramona and everyone else. And hey, we're doing things. So by the way, again, going back, follow, like, and subscribe, y'all. Follow, like, and subscribe. We are growing in droves. So whether you're turning on from the heart of Chicago, keeping an eye on things that are going on in Harvey, Illinois. Shout out to my people in Harvey, just teaming up and joining us from across the globe. Remember, your voice carries weight. Your vision has the power to shift the room, right? So as we navigate through these times, both together at home and, the folks abroad, let's stay informed, let's stay encouraged, and most importantly, let's stay inspired. Go out there and be the one who facilitates the change. You be the change, right? So this is Amir Shakur, y'all. You've been listening to the Amir Shakur Speaks in the Morning show. Let me say that again. Got a little tongue twisted. Show number 3, I'm sorry. This is Amir Shakur. You've been listening to Amir Shakur in the mornings. And keep striving, keep speaking. And I'll see you right here back tomorrow morning. Peace and blessings. And let's get it going. Let's get our state. Peace.